Hey. Welcome to a brand new day. Do you ever wake up in the morning or go around the house in the afternoon or before you go to bed at night, whatever time of the day it may be for you today, and a song goes through your mind? That happens to me from time to time. Sometimes a little song, whatever it may be, goes through my little mind. And I don't know, I just thought about that today as I was getting ready to come on the show, Run Down with Ramon. Glad you're here. Brand new spanking episode. We do one thing and one thing alone. You know it if you've been a frequent listener of the show, to help you live your best life or start or grow your business. So thank you for taking the being here today. Mike, let me do a video adjustment. I noticed that video's a little low on there, a little high, head cutting off. Sometimes you got to make adjustments in midstream, and that's okay. So again, welcome aboard. Glad you're here. This is the Rundown with Ramon. We got a lot in store for you today, talking about balancing the art of steering clients away from costly mistakes. I'm going to talk about how do you measure the value of a brand community, some ideas from Mark Schaefer. Touching on the Main Street billionaire who's bought over 1,000 small businesses and never lost a dime. That doesn't sound so right. 5 prompts on ChatGPT to do less and earn more. We're going to touch on something else here as well. 5 steps to a more balanced life. The real reason why so many managers don't know how to manage. A multitasker's guide to regaining focus. Touching on something here, how to communicate goals to employees, 15 ways to get your team on the same page. How do I change someone's mind? And last but not least, the top 5 biggest deal killers when selling a company. Everybody, I'm glad you're here today. This is a brand new episode of the Rundown with Ramon. If you've joined me today and you're not feeling so great, well, welcome. I'm glad I can help you maybe feel just a bit better today. And if you came on the show, the Rundown with Ramon, and you're feeling fantastically blessed, well, I can join you in feeling fantastic. So welcome to a brand new day. We're going to start the show in about 10 seconds. Thanks again for being here on the Rundown with Ramon. Let's go. Recently, our Keurig machine broke, and I don't know what happened to it. I've been using a Keurig machine for a few years now, drinking Cafe Bustelo, which I love every single morning. And it just didn't work. All the lights came on, and I did everything I could. I did the search to figure out how to fix a Keurig machine, but nothing would work. Alexandria Nicole, nothing would work. Good day to you, Alexandria Nicole. Nothing would work. The 3 lights were on. I cleaned it. I held the button down to reset it. I left it unplugged. I took a little thingamajiggy and cleaned the needles inside it. Nothing would work. And so we had to have a funeral for the Keurig machine, and I bought a new one, and it works great. My wife asked me, Ramon, how does it feel to have the clean machine? How does that feel? And I said, it feels great, Deborah Williams. It feels amazing. And that's what it's like when you have something new. Sometimes it's good to get a restart. Now, you don't want something to have to crash. You don't want to have to break up a marriage or, anything very life-shattering like that. Darlene, good day to you. But I must say, sometimes it feels great to start fresh, to start new. Think about the things in your life you're doing the same way over and 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 over again. And maybe it's time for a fresh start or some things or a fresh way to do some things. So that's what came to my mind today. But we got a show to do today on the Rundown with Ramon. Let's get with it. Ding, 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 ding. The art of steering clients away from costly mistakes. Let me ask you this question, Alexandria Nicole. Are you afraid of steering clients away, Alexandria, from costly mistakes? If a client wants to do something wrong, are you willing to disagree with them, or do you feel a bit, I don't want to lose that client? Darlene, what about you? The client wants to do X. You know they should do Y. What does Darlene do? Deborah, what about you? Client wants to do A, B, C, and you know they should do D, E, F. How do you handle that? Michael Shrimban writes this in Forbes, Balancing Act, the art of steering clients away from costly mistakes. One aspect here is the dilemma of daring to disagree. The client wants to do this. They want to go this way. They think this is best. They think the website looks great, this, whatever it may be. But that's not great for them what do you do? Declining to proceed would mean challenging a meticulously planned initiative. Yet the pivotal choice between steering the client towards an impartial analysis of the situation or biding time for a more opportune moment could be the defining factor between success and failure. The Forbes article talks about the necessary art of constructive dissent. One, preparing evidence and context. If you have the right client, are they willing to listen to the evidence, and are you giving the evidence in the right context? Darlene says, gotta say it with a solution that is a win-win. Absolutely. Understanding client motivations. What is the motivation? What is the reasoning why the client wants to do said action? And do they trust you enough to listen to you? Viable alternatives. Can you give the client, kind of what Darlene is saying here, a viable alternative to something else? And then what about genuine support? Does the client believe? Lastly, it's crucial to follow up a negative response with tangible support. This is what it may take. Being able to offer something different to the client. You don't have to always vigorously disagree and say, now you're wrong. But if you know what's best for your client, if they're the right client for you, they will appreciate you sharing something different with them. And let me give you a side note. When you don't clean out your Keurig cup right or thingamajig of nature, you'll get your coffee little things inside the coffee. So as I'm drinking my cup of coffee, I'm slurping on some of those little coffee pieces. Let's see, Alexandria. Ooh, I love it, Alexandria. I love expressing my professional opinion. However, give them the respect and grace to make their own decision, because I'm aware that some lessons must be learned through experience. What a gem. Absolutely true. And by the way, those of you who are here on the Rundown with Ramon, feel free to put in there what you do, who you serve briefly, a little link or IG, so people know who's commenting and who's talking, who's chiming in, who's giving input. But that's so important. Give your clients grace. So the point being here in this Forbes article is it's okay to say no to our client. It's okay to push back, because if we're doing what's best for them, if they've hired us for our expertise, your expertise does not mean you always have to say yes. Most of what I do is steering clients away from costly and at times fatal mistakes. I help clients get money, so they sometimes get upset, but ultimately listen. Deborah, I love that, love that, love that. Ding, 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 ding. Moving on. Brand community value, 10 metrics to measure success. What does it mean to have a brand community? Mark Schaefer is an amazing human who you should all follow and look up. Mark Schaefer, MarkSchaefer, Mark Schaefer. Please let him know Ramon's talking about him. Tag Mark Schaefer, let him know I'm talking about him if you don't mind. The value of a brand community. As a marketing professional, your ultimate goal is to create customers. There are two ways to do this. Direct transactions are usually troublesome in a community. People want to be there because they share some common purpose with you. So engagement is one aspect of being in a brand community. Engagement. Number two, ideas and innovation. What are the ideas and innovations that your brand community can have? For example, IKEA, Nike, and Lego all run large communities devoted to product development. Advocacy. Research shows that trust in business, media, and advertising is at an all-time low. Trust is so important. Conversion metrics. Tracking metrics such as conversion rates, customer lifetime value, and the correlation between community engagement and product purchases. Conversion metrics. Brand sentiment, closely related to engagement rate, is sentiment. How do people feel about your company? Brand sentiment. Growth of community, is the community growing? And brand relevance. A primary value of a brand community is the dialogue between you and your customer. Brand relevance. And then customer loyalty and purchase behavior. Some brand communities are using sophisticated tools to measure loyalty, purchase behaviors, referrals, affiliate sales, and more. Information flow. This would go as a measure of the PR value of a community. How does the information flowing in the community? And lastly, is it making sales? So when you think about, you have a brand, you're selling a product or service, have you thought about building a community around it? Around it. And thank you, Darlene, for sharing. And do me a favor, Darlene, as well. Feel free to put a little one-liner about who you are. And then in the same liner, put a little bit about how to reach you. Make it really tight and nice in one cool post there. If you all wish, always love to share out who's there, but put it in one nice, tight sentence there. So this is the importance of brand community. how you can get people to rally around your brand, not just selling them a product or service, but people want to get together. Seth Godin says people like us do things like this. This is the power of community. And when you leverage this and enhance that, it is a powerful force. So consider you have a brand, you're selling something, but maybe you have a Facebook group, maybe you have a school group, maybe there's some other way that you can bring your community together, not to sell them harshly, but to bring them together and rally around what you're doing. Ding, 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 ding. Billionaire buys Main Street, 1,000 businesses with zero losses. That sounds a bit harsh to me, a bit high, I don't know. But Justin Ishaba may not be as well known as his younger brother, Matt, but with a $7 billion portfolio of veterinarian clinics, autism treatment centers, and bakeries, he's made a fortune for himself and his investors. He's bought, it looks like 1,000 businesses in private equity and probably bundles them up and then sells them. Shore Capital moves just as quickly as its founder. The healthcare-focused microcap investment firm sealed 801 deals from 2020 to 2023. Staying small is working out big time. Shore's average internal rate of return on its 14 exits, all in healthcare, is 53,000% net of fees. That is powerful. Leveraging these companies, buying the companies, pulling them together, making them better than they are alone, and then selling them. Ishaba and his team have acquired more than 1,000 mom and pop shops across the country. The average cost of each is $15 million, and roll them up into 61 larger chains of things, including autism treatment clinics, bakeries, and exterminators. We're buying businesses in Akron, Ohio, Pittsburgh, and Birmingham. There's more low-hanging fruit for me, and it's Joe Schmo on Main Street. Cody Sanchez talks about this aspect of buying businesses, bundling them up. Main Street business, there's a lot of dollars in there. The average mom and pop local retail shop is powerful. Oftentimes, they don't have the bandwidth, they don't have the staff, they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the team, they don't have the scale to grow. But hey, check a look at Cody Sanchez. Her book's coming out, Main Street. That could be a way for growth for you, or a way to exit your business. Find somebody much bigger who's looking to buy businesses and bundle up. Glad you're here, Alexandria Nicole. We help entrepreneurs and professionals grow through events, networking, and bespoke marketing strategies with our firm and FB community, Elevate Your Growth. So check out Alexandria Nicole, Elevate Your Growth Facebook community. Glad you're here, Alexandria Nicole. Ding, 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 ding. Moving forward here, 3-day work week, 5 prompts for more pay and less work. That sounds good to me. More pay and less work. Here, ChatGPT can help with this. Jody Cook talks about this, a senior contributor in Forbes. 1, reimagine your calendar. What can you do to affect, to impact, to adapt, to change your calendar? There's prompts you can put in a ChatGPT that will help you look at your calendar better. Number 2, can you analyze sales data? Put your sales data into ChatGPT and let it find those higher value, lower energy facets of what you're delivering. Can you upgrade your documentation? The better a customer can navigate your product or service without needing your help, the more you are free to do other things like not work. Upgrading your documentation. What can you do to better understand your customers? ChatGPT can help you mine that customer data and get more out of it. What about planning your content? Content creation takes a lot of time, and ChatGPT, generative AI tools, Perplexity, Claude, these tools can help you do this. Do less work better. ChatGPT prompts for a 3-day week. Asking ChatGPT, asking Claude, asking Perplexity, asking these powerful AI tools, how can you get more done in your day? Thanks for that, Alexandria. This is so important. Going back to earlier discussion about customers, I loved Arlene saying, showing your commitment to their growth and best interest can let them know you want them to succeed. What an amazing quote. Love this. Again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. If you've just joined, this is the Rundown with Ramon, our daily show, helping you live your best life or start to grow your business. My name is Ramon Ray. Started 5 companies, sold 3 companies, authored 5 books here to help you live your best life. And so glad you're here today. But leverage the power. If you're not leveraging the power of ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, any of the generative AI tools for content marketing, for data crunching, for image creation, and more, you are missing out. Ding, 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 ding. 5 steps to a more balanced life. We all want a balanced life. What are 5 things we can do to have a more balanced life. 1, understand where you are now and where you want to be. Number 2, know your priorities. Number 3, set boundaries for a balanced life. Number 4, take care of your health. And number 5, implement the change you need to make. I'm going to go over these again. How do you live a more balanced life? Written by Neela Perowitz on Brains. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? You have to know where you're at and where you want to go. Know your priorities, what you're going to say no to, what you're going to say yes to. Now set boundaries for your life to help you stay focused. Number 4, take care of your health. And number 5, implement change. This is how you live the life you want. Yes, I'm saying it here, and it's easy to say it in a little show here. It's easy to say it just in a short little 30-minute segment. It takes work and takes time. But if you want to live a balanced life, it's doable. If you feel your life is spiraling out of control, not the way you want it to be, you have to make a change, and that change is all within you to make for sure. Robert, glad you're here, Robert Migliaccio. That change is so important. Ding, 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 ding. Bad bosses promoted, wrong manage worse. Interesting aspect here. The real reason why so many managers don't know how to manage. Fast Company writes this: new bosses are often promoted for the wrong reason and are unprepared for the role. On the last episode of The New Way We Work, we explore what it would look like to treat management like the important job it is. One of the most important or universal problems with the work is bad bosses. Part of the reason so many people end up with a terrible manager is that as a society, we associate personality characteristics like charisma to mean somebody has a strong leadership skills. Instead, it's often a sign of narcissism. But personality isn't the only reason why so many people dislike their bosses. Often people find themselves in management roles because they are good at their job, but then receive little or no guidance on how to manage others. Yes, we can have good characters. Yes, we can do our jobs well, but learning how to manage people is a skill. And if you don't know how to manage others, it's not a skill you have, it's no good. So as you're thinking of promoting, you're somebody at your company, you're a boss and thinking of promoting leadership, put leadership training at the forefront of what you're doing, because there's nothing worse than having Becky, who's great at making pies, and saying, Becky, you're great at making pies. Why do we make you in charge of the pie team? And Becky sucks at leading people. That is a no bueno day. So you have to invest in training leaders as well. Ding, 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 ding. A multitasker's guide to regaining focus. Alexandria Nicole, do you have trouble sometimes being focused? What about you, Darlene? What about you, Deborah? What about you, Robert? Do you all have trouble with focus at times? And if you don't have trouble with focus, why? Let them know what you're doing, what the hack is that you're doing. What are you doing right to be focused? And if you have trouble, confess it right here. Let me know. That's one of my biggest challenges is focus. We're talking about here an article in New York Times, A Multitasker's Guide to Regaining Focus by Anna Borges. So how do we get more focused? How do we do better at this? 1, your brain on multitasking. First, multitask itself is a misnomer. It's not possible to do 2 things at once unless we can do one without much thinking, like taking a walk while catching up with a friend. Usually when people think they're multitasking, they're actually switching their attention back and forth between 2 separate tasks. This network in our brain includes areas of your brain that are involved in executive function or the ability to plan and carry out goal-oriented behavior. Together, they create a mental model of the job at hand and what you need to accomplish it. There's a downside to multitasking. As you would probably expect, the potential harm varies depending on the activity and how adept you are at doing it. But generally, when we switch between tasks, we pay what's been dubbed a switched cost. Says Dr. Wagner, we're going to be slower and less accurate than we would if we had stayed on a single task. So there is harm, and we think we're doing good by multitasking. Guess what? We're not. So the question is, how do we focus on one thing at a time? Dr. Mark suggests you start by observing yourself throughout the day and noticing when and how you task switch without realizing it. So when to keep multitasking? Well, stick to your strengths. Certain activities you may do because you're strong at them, so you can do crocheting while watching TV. and then weigh the risks. What happens if your mind is not fully attentive to the task at hand? What can happen? Find break points. How can you take a break and do something different? And then use multitasking when it actually helps, like stacking habits. If you've just joined, by the way, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. Glad you're here today. All we want to do is help you live your best life or start or grow your business. Darlene says, yes, sometimes she's challenged with focus. And I love this other tip. Focus on something for 20 minutes and then take a short break. I do that as well to some degree. I have this little timer here. I live this life. I have a timer. So when I get to my email and other things, I can hit a timer, and I usually set it to 30 minutes. So at least I know 30 minutes is up and I can switch my task. Listen, this is the Rundown with Ramon. Let's keep going. Ding, 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 ding. Align your team. 15 goal sharing strategies to help better align your team. Weekly team meetings. In-office lunch meetings, weekly newsletter plus a team meeting, Slack announcements, sharing customer and team stories, company culture, internal company hub, term team retreats, workshops, short videos by Serenity Gibbons, town hall meetings, Peter Dason, a mission statement document, email series, quarterly presentations, multi-layer communications. What are we talking about here? These are some ways that we can communicate goals to our employees to make sure the team is on the same page. Lunch is great, but if you're separate, have weekly team meetings always. Have a weekly newsletter that goes to your team. Announcements in various forms of communication, Slack or other places. Maybe a retreat to bring the team together, a workshop, short videos. It's important whether you have a team of 2 or team of 3, team of 5, or just you. Everybody needs to be on the same page. Ding, 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 ding. How do I change somebody's mind? There's an interesting book out by my friend Phil M. Jones called Exactly What to Say. I highly recommend you get it, by Phil M. Jones. And if you DM me on Instagram, my Instagram, by the way, is Ramon Ray Smart Hustle. Best books. I'll send you a list of my top books. DM me on Instagram. Again, my Instagram is Ramon Ray Smart Hustle. Best books. I'll send you some top books. But how do you change someone's mind? Writes this article in Fast Company here. This is a billion-dollar question that companies, politicians, and spouses want to know. The part of the brain that responds to logic is responsible for only about 5% to 10% of our judgment. The rest of our thinking happens in a part of our brains that deals with impulse. Humans don't respond well to coercion. So our instinct to argue our way to agreement is the opposite of what works. It's less about getting someone to do something and more about changing somebody's thinking. The question is, how do I get someone's mind changed? It's not about changing their mind. It's about changing somebody's thinking. It can be effective to lead the person along in stages to help them better understand their own thinking. Persuasion is mostly encouraging people to realize change is possible. All persuasion is self-persuasion. People change or refuse based on their own desired motivations and internal counter-arguing. Persuasion. It's not about getting someone to change their mind per se. Darlene, don't do this. Darlene, don't do this. Alexandria, don't do this. Alexandria, don't do this. Darlene, don't do this. Deborah, don't do this. No, that's maybe the wrong tactic. Instead, it's let me hear why you're thinking what you're hearing. Let me hear the context you're hearing what you're hearing. Let me paint a different picture for you and explain why this route might be different for you or give you a better outcome and give you the opportunity to make the decision to make a different frame of reference. Alexandra Nicole says, I overcame my focus struggle on a micro and macro level by implementing the use of SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I love that, Alexandra Nicole. Thank you for sharing that. So powerful. Last tip of the day. Again, thanks for being here on the Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. Company sale killers, top 5 deal breakers. When you're trying to sell your company, top 5 things that you can do to not sell your company to scuttle its chances of success. 5 things that are deal killers when trying to sell your company. 1, negative factors uncovered in the due diligence process. 2, deal fatigue. 3, funding issues. 4, third-party barriers. And 5, failing to define how much net working capital is included. Not knowing what capital you need third-party barriers, things outside of your control, suppliers or landlords or others that impact the deal, funding issues, not enough funding to grow, not enough capital to grow, or you have debt or other things that complicate the deal fatigue, the buyer's just tired, and there's negative factors that uncovered in the due diligence process. Things are not the way you think it should be. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. I hope you've enjoyed the Rundown with Ramon. If you've enjoyed this episode, check us out at zoneofgenius.com. As I always say, clarity is important. Clarity will set you free, and I encourage you to be clear on what you really want to do. Ask yourself, do you even want to be in business? There's no soundtrack. This is not Shark Tank. There's no commercial break. This is life. Alexandria, are you hungry enough? Darlene, are you hungry enough? Deborah, are you hungry enough? Robert, are you hungry enough? And I hope your prices are good, premium, not cheap. Ask yourself, what do you do best? Because once you find out what you do best, you will thrive. And how do you get paid to do it? This is the Rundown with Ramon. Darlene and others, glad you all are here. We'll be back for another edition of the Rundown with Ramon. I'll see you then. Spread the word. Let people know. Share, comment as you're already doing. Take a screenshot. Let the people know this is where it's at. And Darlene says, I am hungry. Come on now. Let's go. Let's go. That's a wrap. Thanks for being here on the Rundown with Ramon. Be blessed and have a great day. See ya. See ya. See ya.